Great pleasure to welcome right now author of a new book out on Kiefer Sutherland. It's called Living Dangerously. He's written other biographies of actors, including Johnny Depp and Mickey Rourke. And we're joined now by Christopher Hurd from up in the beautiful city of Toronto today. Christopher, thanks for being with us. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Good to talk to you. And first of all, as we talked about before I went on, an ancestral Canadian myself. Good to talk to another one.
yeah. That was sort of part of the reason that drew me to Kiefer's story, actually, him being a fellow Canadian as well.
I think a lot of people forget. I mean, of course, Donald Sutherland, his father, is Canadian. You don't really think of him as Canadian, and you don't really think of Kiefer as a Canadian, because I guess he's so well known in the U.S., right?
Well, and especially with the past 8 years, Kiefer Sutherland's been known mainly as the American super patriot Jack Bauer.
Right.
So really, I mean, there's a lot of differences between Canadians and Americans, but there's also an awful lot of similarities as well. I mean, we're sort of flip side of the same coin.
Yeah, as I mentioned, you've done other biographies of actors, and kind of all, when you look down the list of who you've written about, rebel types. Is that part of the appeal of writing about Kiefer at this particular time?
Well, it is, and it isn't. Part of the reason that I've chosen the people that I have to write about is that when I initially met them, and it's never been about the book when I first met them. It was about interviewing them either for a television show or a magazine piece or something. And what strikes me and why it ends up evolving into a book is that the person that I'm sitting with, the person that I shake hands with and look into their eyes, is not the person that I expected to be with. That the image that the media had created in my mind was diametrically opposed to the person that I was sitting with. And that's sort of where the match gets struck. And Kiefer, Johnny Depp is the same way. Mickey Rourke is the same, and Kiefer is that way as well. When you're speaking to him, he's very soft-spoken. He's very considerate, and he's not the tough guy that his image, the image precedes him is.
Yeah, I found out myself. I mean, just for the audience not aware, you've hosted a show called Reel to Reel on the CBC or in Canada for quite a few years. I've had a chance, fortunately, to interview a lot of showbiz people. You do it on the radio and such, and you do get a different impression sometimes than you think when you talk to these people. And it's kind of an interesting way to approach a book then.
Well, it is, because it allows you to peel back layer after layer, and then it makes the person a little more accessible to the general public who are watching this guy, and especially with 24 being the phenomenal success that it is globally. There's a reason why that show is the success that it is, and it's not. There's a lot of things, and Kiefer is a big part of it. He's so good in that you can barely see him acting half the time. But there's also a lot of the personal things that he brings to it. There are a few layers deeper than just the standard action hero kind of thing that he's able to bring to it that makes that character so successful. And that interested me as well.
You hear him in interviews. He doesn't do a lot of them on TV, but every time I've seen him, he is a very quiet, seems very soft-spoken guy. But you read and hear the stories about some of his exploits. I mean, he has another side to him, doesn't he? He has gotten into trouble. That's not a secret. Did you find that out? Did you find that surprising when you talked to him?
Well, he's quite open about the fact that he works hard and he plays just as hard. And the funny thing, the interesting thing about him, though, in that regard, is unlike celebrities that have been in trouble recently, Tiger Woods, Charlie Sheen, they immediately surround themselves with lawyers and publicists and agents to do the talking for them. It's not what you think. He won't leave me alone. Whereas when Kiefer gets caught in these kind of lapses in judgment, he's quite upfront about it, just saying, wasn't that stupid? I made a fool of myself. I embarrassed myself. I embarrassed my family, my coworkers. I wish I hadn't done that, but I did, and probably do it again. So let's just move on, And evidence of that was, his last really serious, brush was the DUI arrest that landed him in jail. And there again, I mean, when he was being sentenced, the judge said that he would allow him to serve the 48-day sentence on weekends because the judge recognized that there were a lot of people that made their living off of him as well. But Kiefer said no. No. If I'm sentenced to 48 days, like anybody else here is going to who's being sentenced, I'm going in and I'm going to do it. He showed up a bit early and he did the whole 48 days in a row and then put it behind him. So I think that's another reason why he's able to survive these kind of public indiscretions, is because he doesn't hide from it. You know, he's living hard, and when he gets caught, he says, "Boy, I wish I hadn't have done that," you know. And if he has a legal beef because of it, he faces that with his chin up too.